Welcome to the girls' room. So glad you came to join us in the girls' room. Fun, fellowship, and love. The girls' room. Bring your worries and your cares. The girls' room. You won't leave the way you came. Welcome to the girls' room. So glad you came to join us in the girls' room. Fun, fellowship, and love. The girls' room.
Good morning. I'm Pastor Yolanda Whitlow Tyus, and let me be the first to welcome you into the girls' room. Yes. The girls' room is a safe space, a no judgment zone where ladies, young ladies, and baby girls can have a party, laugh, cry, share, vent, be heard, and get great information. And it's a place where, brothers, you can get what you need to fill the empty spaces in the lives of your women. So come on, let's get this party started. Let's meet the ladies in the girls' room. We have my sister Francine Walker, Carla Pace, Tamika Austin, and our very own Dr. Kim Logan. Our first guest is the host of the hot radio show, The Essentially Sabrina. She's a psychologist known as the people's expert and author of the book, He Is Not a Statistic. Welcome, Dr. Sabrina Jackson. Hi, Dr. Sabrina. Our focus today is strengthening daddy-daughter relationships. Take us through some of the issues facing Black family and how many daughters suffer because of the lack of fathers in the Black community.
Well, first of all, there's not a lack of fathers in the Black community. It's just a lack of fathers that do what fathers are supposed to do in the Black community. And the other thing is important to know that in order to learn a behavioral or a social skill, the number one way to get it is by modeling. So when you don't have a model, how do you know? And so when fathers step out of the family, there is a modeling piece for couples that teaches young women what it means to be treated special. When a father is good to his wife and they see that, they know what to expect. But when you don't have it, you'll take anything because it is in our nature to want it.
Come on now.
Awesome. What is the deal, Dr. Sabrina, what is the deal with Black dads who don't step up to their responsibilities?
Well, I can't speak for all fathers. But what I will say, because in my book, He's Not a Statistic, one of the things that I tell women is never badmouth the absent parent. Because there are several reasons. Number one is it was your fault. He's the father. There was a time you couldn't wait to get the email or the text or the phone call. And now that it's no longer in place, you will downplay this person's father. Well, it's your fault they're the father. Secondly, that's still that child's biological parent. And I don't want nobody talking about my daddy, so stop talking about they daddy. And then the other thing is that the word teaches us that we're supposed to honor our mother and our father so that your days will be long. What happens is we teach our children by modeling to dishonor their father, and then you would make their days short. You got to teach what the words say, not just what your mind says.
Dr. Jackson, as mental health specialists, we deal with the absent fathers, even mothers. But now we're dealing with defragmentation, men and women who are in prison. Let's look at that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, the first thing that's very important to know is that the person that's out of the home does not mean that you can't have a relationship. And so you have to teach your children how to write them, to actually take them to visit them, because when they come out and re-enter the family, the community, they need to have a long-standing history. And one of the things that I tell the parent who is away, that you have to take the time to write. Writing is so powerful. And even if the parent that is home doesn't allow you to see the child. If you write that child and keep those letters, and when you do have an opportunity and give them a box of letters, oh my goodness, it lets that child know in that moment you never forgot about me. And because oftentimes, if out of sight doesn't mean out of mind.
Thank you, Dr. Our thanks to Dr. Sabrina Jackson. To reach her and get more information, log on to www.sabrinajackson.com. Next up, fathers and daughters. Get it a go right here in the girls' room. Thank you again for joining us today, where we're celebrating faithful fathers and their loving daughters. For every dad who's been there for their little girls, we salute you. We found an exceptional celebration of daddies and daughters. The Detroit Windsor Dance Academy sponsors an annual tribute dedicated to daddies and daughters. Here to talk about it is the owner of the Detroit Windsor Dance Academy. Give a warm girls' room welcome to Deborah White Hunt. Welcome. How long has the Detroit Windsor Dance Academy been in existence?
We have been existing for 35 years. This is our 35th anniversary.
What inspired you to produce this event?
Well, basically, this dance, the daddy-daughter dance, is part of our annual concert. So the dads have an opportunity to come in and to share this time with their daughters and to be on stage. And it's something that I saw once somewhere, and I felt that it would be good to have that at our studio. And I talked about it, and sure enough, we had interest. So basically, we said if we get dads that are interested in dancing with their daughters, then we'll go for it. And one of the dads was my dad, and he was ended up being our oldest student. He passed away in 2016, right before the concert. I ended up dancing alone. But the daddy-daughter dance is very important because it establishes relationships with dads and daughters. It brings in dads that may not see their daughters on a regular basis because of the relationships they have. And it has also allowed the dads to form a relationship that has just amazed everyone.
Awesome. What is your background?
My background, as far as the arts are concerned, well, I'm a Detroiter. I'm a native Detroiter, born and raised here. I went to school to dance. I graduated from Mumford High School and Michigan State University, where I got my degree in theater, dance, and education. And my master's degree is from Wayne State, where education, dance, theater, physical education, and the arts. But basically, I'm a retired Detroit public school teacher. I taught for over 20 some odd years in the Detroit public schools, and I also spent 2 years in seminary studying because I believe that God has brought me to Detroit Windsor Dance Academy to spread His word through dance. So yeah, I've danced throughout the entire world, basically because people invited us to go and dance, and the studio, like I said, is 35 years old.
That's awesome. Is your husband a part of the dance company?
Yes, he is. My husband is part of the dance company. Bruce Hunt is the executive director. I left my job, Detroit Public Schools, to go full-time into our nonprofit, Detroit Windsor, and he left corporate America to do the same. So he's a military brat, and so traveling and growing up all over the world, his mom had a dance company, and his dad was an entertainer and a lecturer. So she always made sure that her children, he has a sister and a brother, studied the indigenous dance forms of the country where they were. So he grew up dancing, and he knows a lot about dance. He didn't study it formally, but when he took classes growing up until he met that that male thing that men go through, unfortunately, with dance. He loved being in the classes because of all the girls, but he had to deal with all the pressure from the guys, unfortunately, in this country. But yes, he does participate every single day. In fact, he's there now holding down the fort.
Deborah, we understand that you have guests today. Can you introduce them to us, please?
I'd be happy to. We have the Masons. We have Daddy Peter Mason and daughter Carrie Mason.
Welcome. Welcome.
They have been in our daddy-daughter dance now for over, 10 years, I think. Carrie has started at Detroit Windsor when she was 5. She's now a junior, am I correct? At Renaissance High School. And she and her dad have grown up dancing in the daddy-daughter class. She's dressed in one of her costumes. And they just bring so much to Detroit Windsor Dance Academy. Her dad is very vibrant, and all the students said, "It's Mr. Mason's birthday. We have to get him a present." I'm like, really? That is so sweet and special. But because they have such a great relationship, it's like they're leaders in the area of daddy-daughter, and the dads, like I say, get together every year, and they have their own, what do you call it, tailgate party at the concert.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Mason is pretty, he's prevalent in that getting together of the dads.
Yeah, it promotes a lot of this togetherness and support, just being other fathers, having other fathers there. And as she said, her father was very much a model for us as fathers who had been doing this for a number of years with her daughter. And we're just so grateful to have the experience that Mrs. Hunt brings to it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us. For more information on Detroit Windsor Dance Academy, please log on to www.detroitwindsordance.org. When we come back, we're going to have more of Daddy and Daughters when we come right back at the girls' room.
We're saluting daddies and daughters on this edition of the Girls Room today.
In so much of the news, there's so much negativity where it comes to reflections of the African American family. So here in the Girls Room, what we're trying to do is just shine a light on the positive aspects of the black family and the good guys and those precious gems that we actually have, which are their daughters.
Yes. Awesome. Well, my mind reflects on the privilege of having been raised by a loving mother, the one and only Nettie Whitlow. Yes, my mom, who had the good sense to marry a handsome, debonair, loving, caring man, a God man, the one and only, the Reverend Dr. Charles L. Whitlow. My father, he was a loving man at home. He was a superman in the pulpit. I had the pleasure of being spoiled by my daddy. Yes, I did. He loved me. He made me feel special. Time won't allow me to tell how the love became the fabric of my life from my dad. For all you women who think you don't need a daddy, or you single mothers who say, I don't need a man, let me help you out. You need a man, a daddy, a father. My daddy's no longer here with me on the earth realm, but he will never leave me in the spirit. He will always be right here, my daddy, the founder and pastor of the New Mount Pisgah Missionary Baptist Church, the late Reverend Dr. Charles L. Whitlow.
If I could catch a star for you, I swear I'd steal them all tonight, to make your every wish come true.
Who is it?
Who is it? It's your dad.
Every
Hey, no, it's
dream
Daddy.
of all your life.
Yeah.
That's not how the story goes. world is full of perfect plans. If there's a promise that I broke, I know one day you'll understand. When times are hard, I know you'll be strong. I'll be there in your heart, and you'll carry on. Like moonlight on the water and sunlight in the sky. Fathers and daughters never say goodbye.
Hey, Daddy, what'd you bring us?
Can
No.
I get some love? Gave me one dream of my own. So learn to love and spread your wings, and find the world to call your home. When times are hard, I know you'll be strong. I'll be there in your heart, and you'll carry on. Like moonlight on the water and sunlight in the sky. Fathers and daughters never say goodbye. When times are hard, I know you'll be strong. I'll be there in your heart, and you'll carry on. Like moonlight on the water and sunlight in the sky. Fathers and daughters never say goodbye. Fathers and daughters never say goodbye.
Well, that's our show for today. Daughters, I hope you heard something to help you reach out to your fathers. If you don't have a father, somewhere you need to find a father figure. Daddies, I pray you are encouraged to be the best father you can be to your daughters. I want to thank my sisters on the panel today: Francine Walker, Tamika Austin, Carla Pace, and Dr. Kim Logan Nolan. And our guests, Dr. Sabrina Jackson and Deborah White Hunt. And until next time, remember this: we can do better when we know better.